bitch, I'm that damn good. Smoking on some good, some rosy on the wood. Standing on the shit so you can get it understood. It's pedigree in me because I'm that damn good. Bitch, I'm that damn good. Bitch, I'm that damn good.
Smoking on some good, something rosy on the wood. And bitch, I got the belt, so you just get it understood. It's pedigree in me because I'm that damn good. Bitch, I'm that damn good.
Big old wood, I'm burning. Big old booty, I'm turning. Big old fuck, I'm burning. I put in your run designer. First you gonna go behind her. I'm about to give her that weight. Yeah, she ain't that living like China. I am my stripes, she's referee. I put a ring on the Stephanie. Me and the team is building a legacy, winning the gold separately. It's time to play the game. I had to change the name. Rolly the band is playing. You couldn't find this thing.
Yo, it's your boy, Dang Don. You feel me? We here, bro. We here. I feel like, first, before we get started, I feel like I've worn this shirt on a podcast before. Have I worn this shirt before? I did. I wore it on my first episode. I'm about to go change. I'll be right back.
Big old booty, I'm burning. Big old fucks, I'm burning. I put it in one designer. Bro, she gon' go behind her. I'm about to give her that weight. Yeah, she ain't living like China. I know stripes, she's referee. I put a ring on the Stephanie. Me and the team is building a legacy, winning the gold separately. It's time to play the game. I had to change the name. Rolly the band is playing. You couldn't find this thing. Bitch, I'm that damn good.
Yo, it's take two. I definitely just did all that over. Are you crazy? Are you kidding me? I just knew when I sat down with that shirt on, I just knew like everything, it felt too familiar. Like I just knew it felt way too familiar. All right, so first I want to start off by saying, Bella ciao, Bella ciao, Bella ciao, ciao, ciao. We are discussing Money Heist, ladies and gentlemen. Money Heist Review, episode 1 and 2. If you have not seen Money Heist yet, I want you to go ahead and exit the video, please. Please come back after you've watched it. I'm going to go ahead and give you a couple seconds to leave. I'm going to go ahead and take a sip of my Casamigos Reposado Margarita. I maybe spark up here, but I'm going to maybe give y'all about 20, 25 seconds to leave. If you have not seen it and you don't want spoilers, please walk out the door now, please. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a couple seconds. What? They gone? It's an emergency exit on the left. Yep, right there. Huh? Oh, she said she waiting on her Uber. Okay, no problem. Just give me 1 second. Okay, have a good one, Barbara. Bye-bye. Before I get started here, I do want to say that the Common Sense Ain't Common podcast will be staying exclusively on YouTube. I know before I talked about me getting licensed for distribution through like a podcasting website so that I could be on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and shit, wherever else you can get a podcast, everywhere else. I was going to be everywhere, but I just feel like I want to keep it on YouTube because YouTube gives you like an entire experience. You feel me? And I don't feel like I want to be putting in all this work on the YouTube and then you only can hear it and not see it because it's a whole production behind the scenes. You feel me? It's a whole production. I'm the director, the producer, the editor, the actor, all that. You feel me? All that. It's a production. So I feel like I would feel better if you was able to fully watch the production, not just listen to the production. And I know it is a couple people that was writing me and saying, my phone keeps locking or I can't hear you. Like, I apologize. You're gonna have to like watch on a laptop or get YouTube Premium or Prime or whatever the fuck it's called. I don't even know. Maybe purchase that. But we are staying exclusively on YouTube, and I would appreciate if all of you stayed exclusively on YouTube with me. Is that can we do that? Yeah, pinky. You don't want a pinky swear? Episode 1. So my notes are kind of like mixed in between episode 1 and 2, because at first I was kind of just going off of memory, and then I actually started to like skim through them to see like, okay, this happened here and that happened there. So at the beginning, like, it's gonna be kind of disheveled, but I'm gonna kind of try to tie it all in as best as I could. I've been a Money Heist fan for so long. I feel like I've waited on this forever now. So I don't want to just cram everything into one episode and just kind of rush it. Because I know like we tend to binge watch shows and then that's just it. We don't really watch it again, or not watch it again, but we kind of just like, it's just over. So I'm going to do episode 1 and 2 and then episode 3, 4, and 5 next Monday. Just a complete review, just what I think, and just kind of what happened, just kind of a breakdown, kind of not really, but a review / breakdown / kind of not really. I hope you enjoy it though. So first I want to start off by saying, to me, episode 1 was extremely fucking boring. Like, I'm not even gonna sit here and lie. It was very boring to me. There was a lot of different cutscenes. Berlin's son came out of nowhere. Like, where the fuck have you been for like the last 3 or 4 years? There's cutscenes with Berlin. There's cutscenes with Tokyo. There's just a lot of different cutscenes. I feel like it started out really well. So it starts out with like Alicia Sierra climbing through, well, not climbing through, but kind of like walking through the Stormwater Tower. Climbing chains and ropes and stairs and ladders and tables and, everything else that you have to do to get to the professor. She was able to do it while 9 months pregnant, might I add. And we're going to talk about that because I feel like nobody's questioning the fact that this lady is 9 months pregnant, tying up grown men, shooting people, laying in the bed and then sitting up like she's the Undertaker. Like, are you pregnant or are you not pregnant? Like, what like, is nobody questioning this? Is nobody questioning this? So first it starts out with her pointing the gun at Professor, and Professor's like, oh, what are you gonna do to me and all this other stuff. And she's basically just like, I just want the plan. Like, tell me the plan. I want to know how you're getting the gold out of the Bank of Spain. Like, she's just interested in knowing how everything is done. But you also have to remember that Alicia Sierra is on the run. So, like, they don't even technically know that she's that she has the professor. She's working totally solo because she's wanted for her arrest. You remember she did that interview last season in season 4. Is it season 4? Yeah, in season 4, she did that episode where she basically did like the press conference, and she shitted on everybody, the commissioner, the government, and she told everybody, like, yeah, they knew, yeah, they encouraged me to do it. Like, she shat on everybody. She literally shat on every fucking body that was involved. I just can't wait to see, like, when her water breaks. Like, when is your water gonna break? I can't wait to see her fucking water break, because it's ridiculous at this point. Lisbon has gotten into the Bank of Spain, and they're all for Nairobi, and almost said Undertaker. You see, I just said sat up like the Undertaker, and now somehow I'm thinking about the fucking Undertaker. What the fuck? Professor was in there chanting, for Nairobi, and he was so distracted with Lisbon actually getting in and, trying to avenge Nairobi's murder that he didn't even, like, hear her coming in or climbing the chains or the stairs or whatever. So then they go to this cutscene with the helicopter basically getting away effortlessly. Like, the professor knows exactly what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, the people that are going to make it happen, the people around it making it happen, the things involved going to happen, like the animals around making it happen. He literally knows every fucking thing. So this helicopter flies off and it lands like in this desert, and they're all like, Commissioner Tamayo's like, oh, we got him, stay on top of the helicopter, we got him. They land down. And there's these other 2 people that Professor has hired, and it's an old guy and a fatter guy. and they've killed the lambs and things like that. And Professor has instructed them to, you know, make sure you're crying about your not crying, but make sure you're like, oh my God, my lambs. Like, make sure you're panicking about your losses, your damages, because they said, like, you know, a criminal wouldn't care about the damages. So they're and then they told him, oh, the guy he left, and he was in a red pickup, a red station wagon. He was in a red station wagon, and so now they're on the hunt for this red station wagon. They find this red station wagon, and they basically have a bomb taped to this guy's chest. And then he comes out and he's like, oh, me and my wife were kidnapped coming out of the salon. And then they pay a little flashback of the lady in Lisbon switching with the lady that was kidnapped out of the salon, because that did happen last season. And they called, and Governor Tamayo was like, what the fuck do I give a fuck for? This is like he's like, what the fuck do I care for? This is the tent. This is the tent outside the Bank of Spain. Like, he didn't give a fuck about that shit. The helicopter ended up getting away, and it was just basically like effortless. Like, it was no issue. They showed like the setup of Berlin's first heist with his son. His son, they're basically going to be robbing some type of event that Berlin's wife is performing at. She's like a piano singer. So they're going to be trying to extract some type of gold out of this environment. We haven't gotten that far just yet, but again, where the fuck has Berlin's son been? Like, we have not seen of him, heard of him, and now there's like this curly-haired kid with glasses coming in out of nowhere that knows like fucking everything about everything. He's like, oh, this is a card reader from 1998, and this is an artifact. This is an artifact built from China. Like, how do you know this shit? Why aren't you involved in any heist? Like, where have you been? Like, maybe they'll tell us that on volume 2 of part 5, because they're trying to milk this season, and so volume 2 is going to come out on December 3rd, I believe they said. So they're trying to milk this season as well, because it is their final season. But again, like, where has his son been all this time? Denver's god sister, brother, person that was a hostage shoots Arturo, and he's basically scooting back like to end episode 1. And Monica is still so in love with Arturo. I don't understand what the fuck is wrong with Monica. Monica is like obsessed with the idea of not keeping Arturo around, but like protecting Arturo. Like, but you do have to remember Arturo is the father of her child, like the one that Denver is coddling now, Cincinnati calling it his son. That is actually Arturo's son. But I've always hated Arturo. I've always hated Gandia. Arturo should have died years ago. Literally years ago. Gandia should have been dead a long time too. A long time ago. Like, it's ridiculous at this point. I just can't wait for them to take out Arturo. And it looks like that's exactly what happened at the end of episode 2. Monica did take his ass out at the end of episode 2. So he's been shot at the end of the first 2 episodes. Denver's sister shot him the first time at the end of the episode in the leg, and he was like crawling back where all the blood splattered. And at the end of episode 2, Monica shoots him in the shoulder and then in the heart. And then we'll jump back to that. But I just want to say, like, he's been shot in the last 2 episodes. Like, how long until this fucking guy dies? How long until this guy dies? So that's pretty much the end of episode 1. Episode 2 starts with Lisbon, Tokyo, and Monica basically walking out of the Bank of Spain with no mask, no jumpsuit, no shoes, no weapons, no nothing. And they're basically trying to surrender in the war now. After they've caused all this havoc for years and years and years, they come out and they're waving this fucking flag like dumbasses. Now, I am on the side of the money heist robbers. But I feel like at this point, if I'm Governor Tamayo in the tent, I would have my security team rush the shit out of them. You have to take into consideration that we've been looking for these people for like, I think it's like 3 to 5 years, something like that. It's been a long fucking time that we've been looking for these people. And we finally have them right here in our face, surrounded by hostages, with, 100 snipers pointing at them. I would have either had their heads, I would have either had them decapitated, or I would have had them arrested. Like, at that point, I don't care that you're waving your white flag. Like, who gives a shit about that at this point? You're robbing the bank of the country that we live in. The bank of the country. The Bank of Spain. Is Spain a country? Hold on, let me see. Is Spain a country?
Here's what I found.
What is Spain?
Here's some information.
Oh, God. Look, if you know what the fuck Spain is, you know what the fuck Spain is. Don't be sitting there judging me, calling me no fucking dumbass. Fuck you. Fuck you. I love you for watching, though, but fuck you. I don't know what Spain is. I think it's their country, but whatever. They come out and wave the white flag and they agree to release Gandia. Commissioner Tamayo does not know that Alicia has Professor because, again, she's working alone. So Lisbon tells Tamayo that, okay, I'll release Gandia, but let me talk it over with the Professor first. So they go back in. Gandia is fighting the big guy with the beard. I can't think of his name. I think it's Bobatov, something like that. He's fighting the big guy with the beard, and Gandia goes like this big. I don't know if he thought he was like some type of avatar or what, but he goes and does like, ugh, like trying to fight him, and basically gets his ass whooped. While all this is happening, the hostages escape. They're escaping with the weapons. This is all being led by Arturo and the fucking mayor of Spain. Arturo grabs a gun and he says something. He says something, motherfucker, and then he just starts shooting. He shoots Denver. He shoots 2 other hostages. Shoots Denver like right in the arm somewhere. So now the hostages have escaped, and now they're in the armory with all of the weapons that they had brought into the heist, the grenades, the flamethrowers, the smoke bombs, the machine guns, literally every fucking thing. Now the hostages are being led by fucking Arturo on a fucking forklift with machine guns and shields. Like, what the fuck? Why is he alive? Why hasn't Arturo died years ago? Somebody please tell me. Somebody please tell me. So Tamayo finally agrees to like enter in the bank because they're taking too long to release Gandia. Tamayo's like, storm the bank. I want all their asses out of there. Go get them. Just as the military is about to storm the bank, they release Gandia with fentanyl taped to his chest and the money heist mask on his face. And he's running out like the hostages, trying to tell him that the hostages are escaping. The hostages. And again, Gandia should have been killed a long time ago. Like, they had ample opportunity to kill Gandia. And I actually forgot that the dude with the eye patch, what is his name? Palermo, he was the reason that Gandia even flipped this switch and did all this anyway in the first place. Palermo is the reason that Gandia went mad and killed Nairobi and everything in the first place. Because he was going mad. And then somehow he got back on the right page, and it was just like, whatever. But Gandia should have been killed last season, a long time ago. Military comes in, and he's like, he wants to go in, but he only wants to go in with his team. Tamayo's like, I'm not sending your team in. Your team is essentially a pack of dogs. Like, I'm not sending your team in. And they show the team, and it's like people that were like arrested for all type of bullshit. He's like, I'm not sending your team in. It's not happening. I'm not sending your team in. And so the head of the military basically tells him, like, either we go in with my team or we go in with nothing. And so then Tamayo eventually agrees to, let him go in with his team. But they ultimately release Gandia, so they're not going in just yet. And emphasis on just yet. Arturo has a radio, and he's basically talking to Denver, basically telling him like, "Oh, you're not the kind of man I am." And Denver gets up and tries to shoot him. Arturo has like this 22-foot flamethrower, and as soon as Denver gets up, he's standing there like, ah, like a fucking madman. Basically, just telling Denver he'll never be the man that he is. He'll never amount up to anything, basically. While all this is happening, Monica is climbing through the vents to get to Arturo. So he's just still talking. Then they cut to a cutscene. It's pregnant Alicia now has, so the guys that escaped from the helicopter are now at the professor's hangar. And now she's sedated all three men. Alicia Sierra, pregnant Alicia Sierra, 9-month pregnant Alicia Sierra has now sedated all three grown men, and they're chained up in the basement with chains. Can somebody explain to me how a 9-month pregnant woman, I'm not saying women can't do these type of things. I'm not saying women aren't capable of doing these type of things, but she's 9 months pregnant. If you're sedating these grown men, you have to literally drag their lifeless bodies by yourself as a pregnant. At some point, wouldn't the pressure of that like make your water break? Like, isn't that too much pressure for somebody that's pregnant? Wouldn't all that pulling and sitting them up in the chair and then you have to do that 2 or 3 times because there's 3 grown men? And like, when the fuck is her water gonna break? When is her water gonna break? They go back to a cutscene of Tokyo and Rio. Basically, I hate Tokyo and Rio. There's a reason we're even in this in the beginning. They basically go to a cutscene of them basically, coming back and admiring each other and telling each other they love each other after they've already broken up. Now they're somehow back in love again. It's just too much. I hate both of them. Rio's the reason we're even here in the first place because Tokyo's the reason we're even here in the first place because Tokyo wanted to go and take 3 days off and go party. And Rio's the idiot that tried to call her, like, after you tried to rob a bank. Like, you don't think people are looking at you after the last heist that you all just completed, the last 2 heists you all just completed? Like, so they're just idiots. Gandhi is released and now he's getting medical attention. There was like something lodged in his back or something that could have possibly had him paralyzed. Gandhi is now getting medical attention from the military from the military medical team. He's now getting medical attention. So now we're back inside of the bank. Monica's climbing through the vents, trying to get to Arturo in Denver. Monica jumps down the fucking vents like she's fucking Kim Possible or something looking for Shigo and Dr. Dragon. And she's like, Arturo! And it like echoes throughout the whole building. And of course he stops because this is all he wants anyway. He just wants fucking Monica's attention. He doesn't give a fuck about any of this shit. He just wants Monica's fucking attention. So now he's face to face with Monica. And he's basically like, oh, I'm so sorry, all of this. And Monica, she's just become this badass. Remember, Monica used to be a hostage. Well, this pretend to be badass. Monica used to be a hostage. So she looks over at the mayor and his assistant and everything. And she looks at them and she's like, don't move or I'll kill you. Or get down or I'll kill you. Something she said. I just remember the mayor being like, okay, guys, let's get down. Like, the mayor is not with the shit. The mayor is like, get me the fuck out of here. The mayor was the only person trying to talk Arturo down when he had like the fucking shields with the machine guns. And they literally had shields on a forklift with machine guns. And Arturo's driving and he's like, oh, man. They open it and then they're just, and Monica jumps behind them. So now he's face to face with Monica and they're just basically talking and he's just like, oh, I love you and all this and all that. And then he goes to say, but you're still worthless or something like that, and reaches behind him. Monica shoots him in the shoulder. Monica shoots him in the heart. Episode ends. So I'm really interested to see what's going to happen in episode 3, 4, and 5. I have actually seen it already, obviously. I have binge watched it. I'll probably watch it again at the beginning of next week so I can, just be refreshed. But I feel like it started out really cold, but the second episode has been action-packed from start to finish. I'm really excited to see what the rest of this series is going to hold, and we'll go ahead and dive into that next Monday. This coming Friday, we'll go ahead and talk about all of the wrestling news that's been going on, AEW, Monday Night Raw. There's a plethora of things that need to be discussed. I've actually been working on my run sheet. There was actually some stuff that I missed last week, so I need to go back in and dive into that as well. And then after the Money Heist thing is completed, I want to go ahead and I want to talk about some things like here. I'll give you a couple of my topics. I definitely just want to talk about like the whole Free Britney thing. I know there's a lot of people that don't know about the whole Free Britney thing, or they just simply don't care about the Free Britney thing, or they just don't care. Yeah, that's really the only two options. Don't know, don't care. But I'm here to enlighten you. I want you to fucking care about this. I want you to care about this. We cannot sit here and act like Britney Spears is not a pop icon. Everybody knows who Britney Spears is. Britney Spears is the princess of pop in real life. She might even be the queen of pop at this point, because I think Ariana's probably the princess of pop at this time. I don't know. I don't really follow fucking pop music anymore. But I do know that we do need to get Britney out of this conservatorship, and we are going to talk about that in the coming weeks. I don't know if it's right after this episode or another thing. I have a lot of topics here, okay? I got a lot of topics, and I'll be so like eager to record that sometimes I'll be forgetting what I need to say, so I try to write everything down. But again, I'm definitely going to see everybody Friday, and for those that don't watch the wrestling episodes, I'll see you Monday, you fucking losers. Because that's what you are. You're a fucking loser. If you just sit here and I'm not even going to ramble. Because I was really about to go into it. But we're not even going to do that. I'll see y'all next week.
Hit the road, dog. That nigga cold, dog. I got a cold shoulder for a fuck nigga if he prove he a mog. I'm pulling up, I got the hammer. I threw an X on the banner. She ain't there throwing that ass at me, but I would not fuck if she Bama. She call me Billy like badass, I call her Billy like Jean.